There are different kinds of family culture. Which one is best for you? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting, family communications, and relationship building, all through the lens of self-government. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about family cultures, what that really means, and how you can have the most successful family culture possible. In this video, I'm going to share with you a personal story that explains why I care about family culture and what it really is. And then we're going to be talking about what the different family cultures are and how you can have the best one. Years ago, I was at an education conference, and there was a speaker who was talking about culture. She was talking about family culture and how important that was in the education of a child. And this piqued my interest. I thought, home culture and education, do those things really go together? But the more and more that she talked, I realized it was true. Who I was and the things that I decided to establish as my most important things, or the things I cared about most, really did come from my family culture, from my parents. All of my morals and values and virtues gave me a framework to put the educational pieces into. And I realized that for my children, for their future development and education, I needed to be very deliberate about what type of a culture I wanted to have. So I looked up the word culture, and the word culture comes from the Latin word cultur, which actually means to nourish. So basically to nurture, it means to nourish, to strengthen, and to correct. To correct. So a culture is an environment where someone receives correction, not just instruction. This is a full training. When you train someone, then you provide boundaries and purpose in a direction they're headed. And this is what a really good home culture does for children. Gives boundaries and focus for which direction they need to go. There are three types of home cultures. The first type is the teaching training culture. This type of home culture, the parents see themselves as leaders of the children. They maintain parental authority, but they also have this beautiful feeling of unity within the home, and the family works together to create good bonds, and they work on their behaviors in open ways that are not reactive. This leads me to the second kind of culture. There's the reacting family culture. This is the power struggling culture, where everything is emotional. You did that to me, I feel something. I feel emotional. This type of a culture puts people on edge. It makes people hide from each other. This is not a good family culture. It makes the children not sure if they can trust their parents or tell things to their parents. This induces lying oftentimes. This type of a culture really disconnects family and makes each person their own island, always worried about their feelings, what they want, what someone did to them, who the bad guy is. If we're searching for a bad guy, then we have a reacting, power-struggling culture. So the third type of family culture that people might have is the passive family culture, the one that is kind of abandoning the children. Well, you do your stuff, you do you, I'll do me, everybody takes care of themselves, let's not bug each other. And there's like this silence that happens. Not a ton is talked about because everyone's doing their own thing. People don't want to bug with it, everyone's on their device. I was talking with a family actually a little while back, and I hadn't seen them for a long time, and I said, how's your family doing? They're like, oh, pretty good. It's kind of quiet, we've only got like a few children. I think it was like 3 or 4 children at home, which I thought, that's not quiet. That's a lot of talking. That's a lot of things happening. But I was interested, and they said, well, it's kind of quiet. There's just a few children, just like 4 at home, and everybody just, they're just in their room on their device. That's what everybody does, but they seem to be happy. Nobody seems to be having a problem. But nobody really, it's pretty quiet. And I was like, whoa, that is so passive. And the parents have no idea. They think they're making their children happy because nobody's arguing. But they're actually abandoning them. They're not discussing. They're not bonding. They're not teaching. They're not training. And the poor children are left all to their own devices. And what's worse, actually left to places like YouTube to groom them, Hopefully they find my videos. Hey, maybe they will find my videos. Before I get to my tips for how to have the most successful family culture, click subscribe. That really helps more people find these videos. And they are so important for the world right now. So let's talk about how to plan for the most successful family culture. The most successful family cultures, like I already mentioned, are based upon teaching and upon the family understanding who the leader is. So maintaining that parental authority so that the parents know that they are living according to their roles. Now, before you shut down, because people don't like the word roles nowadays, just understand that your role basically is who you are to those other people. It's not your responsibilities and like who takes out the trash or something like that. A role is like father. What does it mean to be father? What does it mean to be mother? What does it mean to be 15-year-old son or 7-year-old daughter? The family members need to know this. They need to know how to interact with each other, and they've got to practice. And a good, successful family culture creates a deliberate way for this to happen. So they plan for success. Years ago, back in 2009, I was featured in a BBC documentary called The World's Strictest Parents. I know, kind of silly, right? You can go look for that if you want to. In The World's Strictest Parents, the BBC over in England brought us 2 troubled teens to stay in our home for 8 days. They were both age 17. And when they came to our home, they were fighting and power struggling, but we wouldn't fight with them. We trained them ahead of time about our rules and the skills that they would need for communication success, how we would handle problems, and how we would maintain calmness. I don't think they believed it was possible when their tantrums came out, but alas, it was possible. And our home was calm. In fact, it became the most watched episode ever on the BBC because it was so calm. And by the end of the program, you see James and Hannah, the 2 teens that came to our home, crying. They were begging not to leave our house. They'd only been there for 8 days, but they said to us, "We feel so safe here. Please don't make us go." What did they feel? They felt a family culture. They felt the security that came from parents who had deliberately decided, this is how we will live. This is how we will communicate with each other. This is how we'll solve our problems and maintain our love. This is not the easy way to parenting. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's way easier to abandon your children or just dump your emotions out on them all the time and fight with them. Maybe in the short run it's easier. In the long run, it's going to hurt. This is the hard road to parenting because it requires self-governing yourself and teaching them to self-govern themselves too. What is self-government? Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So that means that a person knows that it's perfectly healthy. It's desirable to learn cause and effect, to accept negative consequences and positive ones, to analyze themselves and make goals and plans for their future and follow up with somebody. That's a good plan. So what would that look like in a home? That would look like the family saying, who are we as a family? And the parents helping the children create a vision of the future. We create a 20-year vision. There's videos on this channel about creating family visions. I highly recommend looking at those. But then also we have skills that help direct us toward this vision. So we learn skills like the 4 basic skills, which again are talked about in some of the videos on this channel. They are following instructions, accepting no answers, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. We also teach our children the 5 teaching styles that we are going to use to correct problem behaviors when they occur. So they know every word we're going to say if we ever need to correct them, and they know the tone with which we'll say it. Guess what this does? It increases predictability and decreases anxiety. So many families are struggling with anxiety right now. And one of the key things that could change the anxiety levels in their home is the bond that they have as a family and how they problem solve together. If they could fix the problem solving techniques that happen in the home, then the children could decrease their anxiety naturally and just end up with normal levels of anxiety like everybody else has always had during adolescent and childhood years. Another part of pre-planning what type of a home culture we want to have is to have times where we check up on how we're doing. So not only do we have activities together as a family where we practice being that type of family we have prepared to be, but we also have family meetings. Regularly having family meetings as a group helps everybody take responsibility for themselves within the family unit. People shouldn't feel like islands if they're part of a family. They should feel like a group. They should see themselves working interdependently with each other and having that beautiful type of relationship where they grow together. This will make lasting bonds for life that will create security and purpose for their entire lives to come. If you've enjoyed this video, I have a gift for you. It is my Calm Parenting Toolkit. This renowned toolkit has 10 lessons that help people learn how to master their own calmness and how to help somebody else be calm without losing your calmness at the same time. This toolkit truly is life-changing for so many parents and families. In the description below this video, there is a link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. Click on that link now and you can have my Calm Parenting Toolkit for free and start on the road to creating that family culture where you have unity, success, training, and increased family identity. I'll see you there.